Hello, everybody. Thank you for listening to My City Talks. This is the podcast powered by My City, My Health. And we have a great guest in the building. I'm not trying to throw no shade. She ain't sick this time.
Finally, finally, bro. The wait every time. I'm like, is something going on? Am I not supposed to be there? And I thought
What
I
you
was going
telling
to
me,
glory.
God? What you telling
I thought I was going to glory that time. That one time I thought I was
me? No, that stuff happened. But I appreciate
going.
you, answering the call again to talk about. The first time we were talking about, Black maternal health. I know, AKA the real Black doula. I got
Yeah.
Jasmine Brooks here. I'm sorry.
You
I just
bad.
went.
Don't say so many words.
Yeah, yeah. So, but this time we're talking about food
Yeah.
insecurity. So I thank you so much for being on the panel and bringing your expertise and what you do and what you're already doing, around food insecurity. So, before we get into kind of the conversation we'll have at this year's My City, My Health conference in November, tell people a little bit about, what you do when it comes to food insecurity here in the city.
Yeah, so people don't realize I have a full-time job.
Yeah.
Fun fact. I work for the Iowa Healthiest State Initiative. We are a local nonprofit that serves the entire state of Iowa. And I am the project manager for a USDA grant called the Double Up Food Bucks program. So we call it Double Up Iowa. What it is that we help bring fresh fruits and vegetables and plant-producing fruits and vegetables to SNAP users. By incentivizing them to purchase them with their SNAP dollars. So for every dollar they spend, we give them up to $15 a day. So for folks that have very low SNAP, benefits, this really helps, shorten the gap of food and access, particularly to, nutritious based foods, right?
Yeah.
Or fruits and vegetables that really give us more quality and health benefits. So.
Yeah, and I've seen that work in real life.
Yeah.
So just as a part of my role as the clinical health coach at our safety net here, like I can have a patient in my office that they'll receive $50, $100 in SNAP benefits, right? And in this economy, really that $100 that doesn't go very far.
It does not.
So now you're picking and choosing. Do I get the fruit? Do I get the fruit or do I get the ramen? Which one can I?
Right.
And you know what I mean. And that double up food bucks. People come and brag about, yeah, I got this, that, and the third, and it's been really, really beneficial. And it wasn't until I started working here where I recognized that food insecurity, this was 8 years ago. Food insecurity is popping but it's not great.
Right. Yes. It is a conversation.
Yes. So talking more about the conference, what is your hope? What is your goal that people really understand about food insecurity here in Des Moines?
Man, a couple of things. I think first getting awareness of the program, because part of the reality is we're unique in Iowa compared to other states. We're all digital. But what's nice is the users get the same experience whether they're shopping at a grocery store or a farmer's market. I think the other point that I want to bring home is what food insecurity is, because I think people thinking, just giving folks boxes of food is what we're going. And I think commonly that's the practice, because that's what's easy, is that's
right.
That's what's photo oppy. That's kind of, hey, this is still all these are good nutrients, but power of choice. I think people forget that folks still want to eat the way they want to eat, and there's culture a part of that, and not just racially, but for all other ways that people eat based off of where they live, what they've enjoyed, whether they know how to cook or not. I think that's a lost art. Cooking is a lost art. I talk to a lot of people that just do not cook, and so we're having a lot of folks eating boxed quick foods. I joke because I've never eaten at Bebop's. And
wait, you never had Bebop?
Never had Bebop's.
Okay, go ahead. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Because it's just part of me tries to not do fast food, because that's what I grew up on. I mean, my mom cooked foods, but I'm like, I see even just with my body the changes of just bringing in, better foods, because I have my own health issues. My family has health issues. So I think that third point of what is within our control and our power,
Right.
and how can we educate people? Because it's easy to say eat healthy. Like, what does that mean?
Man.
What does that mean exactly?
And it
'Cause,
means
like,
something different to
I
everybody.
still want my candy yams. I still want my fried chicken, right? I still want, as a black woman, I still want to eat foods that are attributed to my culture, my comfort foods. I'm
Yeah.
stressed. And when I'm stressed, I want to go comfort because that's what's easy. But I see how much I drag, how much my mood changes, how my body changes, right? And so I want people to understand those three pieces, amongst other things, to leave from the conference and the conversation.
Yeah, I want to go back to your point about cooking as a lost art, because it's really like there's really something to that.
It is.
In the sense of, if people just started to learn or to understand how to cook, one, the money they can save.
Man.
Like, just by learning how to prepare
Yes.
something simple, like the money, I priced it out. This was years ago, where I was when I started cooking more and preparing my lunches more for work. I was like, this lunch that I made, which was a bunch of foods, probably like, it was $3 a meal, compared to when I was going out somewhere or getting something more convenient, which was double that.
Yeah.
Or even sometimes triple that, depending on what your boy was doing. So that could be a podcast or a question all within itself, is how do we get people to slow down, to prepare foods more, and understanding that there are some people who don't have that privilege, or are able to cook like that, or don't understanding all of that. But how do we slow down to prepare our meals more?
Yeah. Cooking's time consuming.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie to people. Like, it is a thing, and it's easy to use the air fryer, the microwave, all of that. I think twofold of our program, right, is that we want you to bring, I always talk about eat colorful. Like, eat for color. Like, that, if that's the least that you do, is whatever you're eating, put some more color in it. So the reds, the greens, the blues, the oranges, the yellows, right? If you're going to eat this really bad, breakfast sandwich, get a banana with it. Eat some cherries, right? Like, there are ways that you can still feed your body, because I think we forget that we're eating till we're full and not satisfied. So that's why people notice, like, oh, I'm going out to eat, I'm doing this, I'm still hungry when I get home. Because everything you ate actually isn't fueling your body. You're literally pooping away your $40 meal.
Yep.
Right? And then you're like having to go get something else and go get something else. I always laugh about, too, in our friend group, we talk about, oh, there's some parasites. Because we're like craving the sugars, the salts. And you're like, man, why do I want to eat this whole cake right now? It's because you're feeding them. You're feeding the things in your body that wants you to eat poorly, that wants you to, like, just eat to just keep moving. I think capitalism is a part of that, right? Because we have to keep going. We got kids, we got responsibilities. Man. We're barely sleeping. So I tell people, if you feel like you're not sleeping enough, you're always sick, you're moody, it's your diet. It's your diet. Amongst other things, I think your diet is the biggest thing that you have control over to fix. Because maybe we don't have, abilities to go to the doctor or go to counseling and all that. You want to change how your body responds, how it moves, how it feels and is present. It's your food.
Yeah, I love how you said it's the one thing we can control. Because if you're feeling all those things, oh man, I'm tired. Okay, tomorrow, what did I eat today? What's going on in my body? And it's one thing I do with a lot of individuals that I serve, is when I look at their sleep, I compare that to how they ate that day, and there are a lot of different correlations. So it's like, okay, what can we do the next day? Obviously, try to sleep better.
Yeah.
But what is triggering you wanting to go to, the faster meals, or the fast foods, or the junk food, and yeah, I don't think there's a magic pill, but we live in this world where when it comes to our diet, we want the quick thing.
Yeah.
No shade. I love smoothies.
Okay.
No shade on smoothies.
Yep.
That's I will have a smoothie all day.
Go to.
Every day.
Yep.
Go to. But in some people's mind, oh, I'm just gonna have I need to have a smoothie. That's what's gonna make me healthy.
Mm.
There needs to be change too with some of these things, right?
Mm-hmm,
Like I
mm-hmm,
love what you said. Again, I'm gonna go back to you said a bunch of stuff that I really, really agree with. I'm not being agreeable to be agreeable,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
but how you said add pretty much add to, not take away. What can you add to
mm-hmm,
your
mm-hmm,
foods? And I think there has to be a conversation as well. Is okay, we can add to this food that we're eating, but we also need to take a look at the food that we're eating too.
mm-hmm.
Um, and for people of color, black people especially,
Mm-hmm.
there's pride in that culture
It is.
of that. And that, how do you tell somebody to take that away when there's, ancestors prepared foods
That's
this way
grandma.
for man.
It's grandma. Food is such a pride for me that I
Hmm.
don't sit down and eat with anybody. So when people are asking me to
Really?
eat, this is just things I've learned over time. I'm like,
Yeah.
why am I getting up and feeling so stretched and stressed? And my gut is like, I'm not digesting. And I have the best food on the planet. I think there's a sacredness that we often have forgotten amongst us. Again, the big mamas ain't around no more. You got the glam mamas, the grandmamas that don't want to be grandmamas, which is fine. I get it. You young, you
Yeah.
cute. We ain't aging like we used to. But I was just like, I just remember like getting excited to go to my grandmother's house,
Yes.
to smell it from the street. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
yes, I learned how to cook chitlins. I know how to clean them, cook them, all that. And my family's from the Midwest. But yeah, it's just like when I talk particularly with communities of color, black folks, and specifically, it's like, you want me to do what? And you're saying sugar does what? This sugar ain't bad. Cane sugar ain't bad. My mom I would make tuna. I still make tuna to this day with sugar, because I don't know how to eat it without it.
Mm.
But I cleanse. So
Just so y'all.
just so I know, right?
Just so
But I'm
y'all
like,
know.
my tuna is made with sugar.
Yo, look, when I
Yep.
I told my mom I baked chicken,
Okay?
the
The
look
look.
that she
What you mean? What is that?
was,
Was the skin on it still? Right? Questions. And you're like, yeah, cut the skin off. You cut the
yeah.
skin off.
Now she talking about, oh, you don't season it. I'm like, I do season my food. What are you
Baked
talking
chicken
about?
is so good. Smothered baked chicken too. You can do that
You
without
can-
clogging your arteries.
Yo.
My people, you can do that without clogging your arteries. I promise you. It's so good. You thought fried chicken, baked chicken is hidden.
Yes, you could do it. And trying to justify, hey, we can still have pride in who we are, in our culture, and what. Even long ago, when we were getting rotten food and we had to prepare it and season it to
Yes.
make it right, we can still build that up and do that and have pride in that.
Yeah.
And I will say, indulge in that sometimes.
Yeah.
But yo, like
Yeah.
at what point do we say, hey, we are low key kind of killing ourselves,
Yeah.
and now we need to make a change?
Yeah. I think twofold, right? Because I tell people, do an environmental scan for anything. If you're like trying to understand why a community of people aren't eating right, like having chronic illnesses, like just take a walk, because these folks don't have access to quality things that look nutritious. Like
Right.
even with Double Up Food Bucks, we talk with our farmers and our grocers, and people aren't picking up foods because of how they look too. So I can encourage you to eat something, but it doesn't look like something I'd want to chew and cook, because,
Right.
or I bought it and it literally goes stale the next day. We have people who don't know how to pick fruits.
Man.
And that's a whole situation, even for myself,
Yeah.
like trying to pick a good melon. I think we have to take a broader look at what is exactly going on, because part of it too is our foods are changing, the way our foods are made. And we joke online about like, fish ain't fish no more, cereal ain't cereal no more. Well, we ate that back in the day. Well, if you look at back in the day, it had like 7 ingredients, now it has 20. So I could tell someone to go eat Kellogg's cereal, but Kellogg's cereal probably ain't good no more. Or I can tell someone to go eat bananas, but guess what? Or apples got wax on it now, and now we got to teach people how to even prepare it,
how to even clean your food.
right? How to clean your food, and actually like you got to scrub it now because all the pesticides and everything on it.
Because I tell you, when I clean, we love grapes and blueberries in our house, and when I tell you, when I clean them joints though, I take them out the bowl just so my kids can see what that water looks like.
Yes.
And it's like you just
people just, and you could tell people just snacking on them while they're walking. Back in the day, you could, right? Just pop some grapes while you're walking around. You can't do that anymore.
No, you probably shouldn't be doing it then because it's feeling. But
and a pound or more by the time you get to the front.
Yeah, but there's what I'm hearing you say already is that there's a lot of education that needs to be done around preparation, what the food is, what it looks like, what it should look like, just before we even get to maybe another step. And I want to talk more about the Double Up because I think it's a great program. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I feel like it might be underutilized a little bit.
It is.
Like, and this doesn't happen a lot. Like, I see a lot of individuals that use Double Up food bucks, but for the small few, it's almost like they don't even know about it or afraid to use it.
Yeah, and it's because it's digital, particularly in our rural areas with our older population. They're like, I still pay with. I still use, checks to pay for my stuff. So they're like, I don't even know what this is, and what are you talking about? So we have about 20,000 users, and when I say digital, there's a physical card that you use alongside your SNAP card. So anytime you're purchasing fresh produce or food producing plants, we give you that $15 a day. So for all the $15 that you use, like again, that can rack up, and particularly for people who will use on the front end of the month their SNAP benefits, they have Double Up food bucks to fall back on. So you see a lot of people really valuing how much it's able to help them stretch. For like our farm stands, our CSAs, we do participate with them as well. So you get about $60 a month if you choose to participate within a CSA. So that's like a weekly transaction. So you'll purchase for that week, and then the next week we pay for it, and we'll kind of go back and forth for $6 a month. And then for our farm stands, it's $2.50. So for those farm stands that are in rural places, like you can get a good chunk of food from them. And yeah, I agree, it's definitely underutilized. I think there is the gap of just education on purchasing the foods, and are people even buying fresh produce is the question. And I think the third piece of it too is just the digital part feels a little foreign to people. They're like, what is this? And why is this just not on my SNAP card? And there's reasons why we're not there yet. Like, lots of states are not there yet.
Right.
So we tried to figure out a way that allows you to keep your money, because we initially were just paper-based. Can you imagine how much paper gets lost? If I'm just handing it out, and then I don't even keep my receipts.
Right.
So you losing out on money that you just earned. So that's why we wanted to have an opportunity to increase redemption rates. So this past year, this is year 2 of us being digital, our redemption rate went from 40 to 90%.
Nice.
So that means people are getting and earning the money and also using it. So economically, that is also a benefit to the state, is that we're only using local grocers and farmers, and then this money generates and then cycles back through our own communities.
Yeah. I wish with the utilization, like, the reason why I love that piece of it is because for a lot, it takes out no matter how we slice it, there's a little bit of your pride that goes into, I gotta use Double Up food bucks.
Yeah.
And there's that, like, kind of some of that embarrassment, but like being able to do it in a way where there's more security, I guess, in the sense, like, you don't gotta pull out the coupon and do all this. Now you got all these people behind you, and there's like, I've been behind that person and just feeling so bad because you could just tell they're embarrassed and they're holding up the line. And I love that people can now use it
Mm-hmm.
and not have that fear or that emotion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, what are your thoughts? Oh, my bad. What are your thoughts? Going back to the panel that we are having, because I want to make sure people attend this panel
Mm-hmm.
because outside of a bunch of stuff that's going on in
Mm-hmm.
this world, um, what you do and how it ties into people's ability to get foods through SNAP. Is there any with all the new changes in Medicaid or Medicare? Do those changes are they affecting anybody's ability for from the double up food bucks that you can talk about, or is it like no issue right now?
That's a great question. I think that's another battle we fight is people not understanding the eligibility requirements
Yeah.
between them. So not everyone on Medicaid or Medicare qualifies for SNAP. So that's a big thing too.
Mm-hmm.
Is with the SNAP changes federally and statewide, yeah, we're probably going to see a decline in SNAP users. And so I think that's what we try and talk to users who go back and forth of like losing their benefits or not. I think the big thing is I encourage them to talk to their legislators because we are each year applying for appropriation funding so that we can have match funding. So big key thing about our program is we receive no state funding. Everything is match dollars that we get from the participating sites and then grants that we apply for. But what can make it sustainable is that we have some type of appropriation. And part of that is being able to open up more sites. So we're currently in 77 counties. So yay, we started out
Mm-hmm.
with like 25 sites and now we're at 172. And then the new grant we received is allowing us to open up strategically independent grocery stores because part of the reality too is not everybody shops at the Fairways and the Hy-Vees
That's
and
real.
the LSI. So we're trying to diversify who and how we're encouraging engagement and participation. So if folks can see the benefit of local policy and state conversations, that is where we have our power, our political power. So calling the state legislators about, not only your feelings and thoughts about SNAP, but then also saying, hey, we have this program that really fills the gaps for people to access quality nutritious food. And how can we support those conversations? So we are constantly educating our vendors about it, getting all the data we can. That's why we went digital so we can actually see real time what's
Right.
going on. But I think that is a conversation, and it's hard as a nonprofit. We have to remain, I hate the word neutral, but that's the reality is we have to be clear about where we live. I think people forget like we live in Iowa, so how can we have the conversation on an equal playing field? Like we all can agree that we want healthy Iowans. Okay,
Right.
great. So then what comes with that, right? And
Right.
that's part of that's investment. Okay, we met you halfway with getting this USDA grant. Perfect. So can we meet the other half of having some sustainability practices? Because then maybe we can get to a place to see like Medicaid wise with people on SNAP that are on Medicaid, how has their health changed over time? That's what PPR comes in, right? Produce subscription.
Yeah.
So I think all of these kind of fall in line, and I think for our program, we see real time benefits of users. We see real time benefits for redemption rates. So not to say any other program doesn't, need to get supported because they can't have data, but I think for this program we can see the real,
Right.
true ground level benefits county to county. Like how does this shape a community if we have 6 grocery stores, a farmer's market, and a site? We could see real time like how people are using the program and accessing fruits and vegetables because that's what matters. It's like
Right.
we want people to be healthy, but we stretching the thing of like how much can we make them work out? How much can we change, opportunities for people to have better housing structures? How can we change opportunities for people to have better employment? We can fix the food security issue, right? By
Right.
just closing a gap that's already kind of there.
100%. You can't say we want healthy Iowans and not invest in it.
Yeah.
Like we got to be able to do.
We
to
got
do
to
both.
meet somewhere with that somehow.
Right.
So,
Right. So I want to I want to get more about how are you feeling about My City, My Health this year. So have you been to
Yeah,
the conference?
I went the year when you all were at
Mainframe.
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 Mm-hmm.
So as you know, it's that the energy
Yeah.
is there.
Yeah.
Energy is
Yeah.
there. How are you feeling?
1,000%.
How are you feeling about being there this year? And what are your hopes for some of the outcomes? One of the things I've been talking to people about, specifically about speakers and the speaker and the attendees, is these conversations are great to stay alive and to happen, but what is the action that we're going to take afterward? What are we doing? Because the last thing I want is somebody that's came every year and has a notebook full of notes and hasn't done anything.
What do you do?
So like, this is a heavy question to ask right now, but one, what are your thoughts about how are you feeling about this year's conference, and how do we turn some of these things you're going to be talking about with the double up bucks or food insecurity in general, and how do we turn that into from a conversation to action?
Right, right. I think the first thing that comes to mind is I love how each year you find innovative ways to engage resources, because not only are you having us, speaking, but you're having all these other opportunities outside of tabling that we just don't get to have. Because I think face-to-face interactions really challenging for a lot of people. We got a lot of introverts, neurospices like me, where I'm not trying to have this like one-on-one conversation with you, and I might not even follow up. So, but I think with double up, you know what I mean. Get all the cards and they just sit on my stand. So struggle. But I think something I'm excited to share with people are we have found strategic ways for people to get involved. We want people to learn while we're on the panel that we are actively recruiting sites and how they can engage their local grocers, how they can engage farmers markets in their community. It's really easy to sign up as a participating site. We've definitely mitigated any barriers for people. If folks in that space work with SNAP users as case managers or nurses or whatever, like this is a really quick fix. We can get you, connected to getting free materials that you can request from our site. So I think with the space, commonly with conferences, right, it just seems so big and you seem so small. I think with My City, My Health, it's more of this living room experience. Right? That we are actively having hard conversations, actively talking hard questions, and sharing perspectives that we don't get to hear often because everything's on Instagram and YouTube. Well, what's happening in Iowa? Right? Because the front lines is all these like urban places. Well, we're not a Chicago, we're not a LA, we're not a Detroit, we're not a Dallas. What is happening in Iowa, Des Moines, and then how does those outskirts kind of take place? Because I think we forget, even though we're in Des Moines, there's a lot of service and connection that's even with our surrounding communities. When I think about Marshalltown, Newton, these communities are facing a lot of health disparities, a lot of closures that they're now utilizing Des Moines resources. And because we're living day to day, we're like, oh, that's not impacting us here in Des Moines. Yeah, it is, right? Because when resources are stretched, scarcity mindset grows. Right? And even with access to grants and resources, I think this is a way for us to talk a little bit more strategically about what's actually happening, because I can, ask ChatGPT all day, right? And it'll give me the basics. But that data is from 2019. We in 2025. Right. Like you said, the growing policy changes, I definitely can see that coming up a lot, just because that is the conversation. Change happens and creates fear. And when we're talking about health equity, when we're talking about equity and DEI, right, particularly in a state like Iowa, that can be challenging. Like, how do we work through this, still creating quality, conversations, but at the same time, leaving, like you said, leaving with something that we can actually do that doesn't, again, incite fear to be like, well, oop, we can't touch that. Right. Oop, that's actually not something we can do, type of thing.
No, that's real. That's real. No, I want to thank you again for being on the show and being on the panel. Make sure you guys are there November 14th. You don't want to miss this. We have some very powerful conversations we're going to be having, some very powerful panels. For those that want to connect with you to learn more about what you do with the Iowa Healthy State, even some of the stuff you do outside. 'Cause I know you're out here doing everything, saving the world, right? So how can people connect with you?
Oh, great question. I think directly doubleupiowa.org. And then even from there, we have our newsletter. You can directly email me about anything. I mean, my work. What I love about my job is that they know that I love saving the world, right?
Yeah.
In everything. So however you want to reach me, either through the Iowa Healthy Estate, social media, DMs, or Wild Olive Birth Company. Like I'm here for all the questions. Ask all the things and get you connected.
That's dope. And she'll be at this year's My City, My Health Des Moines.
Yes.
November 14th.
You gotta come because you gotta wish me happy birthday. It's my birthday's the day before.
You're
the
lying.
13th. Yeah.
You're lying. No. My birthday is November 13th.
Corey, stop playing. How have I known you this?
How
did I not? I've known you for way too long. Stop playing your birthday.
I'll show you my license right now.
Stop.
November 13th.
When?
November 13th.
What?
That is crazy. And Drew from the Slowdown, the owner, his birthday is November 13th.
Okay. So now you see why we don't ever enjoy Good Friday. it's the Friday all day, all year.
Oh yeah,
I think I only had one Friday birthday.
I think I had one Friday birthday.
Yep, never. That is crazy. We gotta talk about that. That's crazy. That's making so much sense now.
Yeah.
That's making so much sense. I'm hollering.
Well, you can wish us both happy birthday.
Okay, there we go.
On the day before. Awesome, Jasmine. Thank you so much for being here again.
Thank you.
Everybody, like she said, make sure you're there November 14th here at Curate Des Moines. We're going to have great conversations. This is My City Talks, powered by My City, My Health. Oh, get your tickets at mycity.health. And you can learn who are on the panels, the agenda for the day. It'll be great. I'll talk to you next time.